battle for Asian supremacy has begun, and we might have two heavy favorites in India and Pakistan, but it's by no means is the two-horse race. We have with me Ayaz Memon, our sports expert, and my colleague Devdutt, and I am Vaibhav Shah. We have a special edition of First Post Game Plan where we will be discussing the Asia Cup. We have two slightly one-sided games where we saw Mushtafiq Rahim scoring a magnificent century in the first ODI, and Hong Kong, as you would expect, Pakistan won by 8 wickets.
I think the matches were one-sided, but the first one was an upset result in many ways. Bangladesh beating Sri Lanka. Now remember, a lot of people in the pecking order think it's India-Pakistan or whichever way you want to see it. We'll debate that. And then Sri Lanka, because of sheer depth of experience, playing experience, and then Bangladesh. But actually Bangladesh's recent record in limited overs cricket has been fairly impressive, and we saw why in the first match. They really thumped Sri Lanka very badly, and of course they were also in some kind of trouble, and had they not dropped the Sri Lankans hadn't dropped catches, and Bangladesh, the story could have been different. But for somebody like Mushfiqur to come and play that kind of a knock was, I think, exceptional. It was a tremendous performance, and it led to Bangladesh winning that very crucial first match. In the context of this tournament, that first match is very, very crucial, because now neither India nor Pakistan can take Bangladesh lightly. And of course, the second match was, walkover for Pakistan in many ways, because Hong Kong was really no match.
Yeah, absolutely. Rahim's stun was special, but we saw the comeback of Lasith Malinga. 4 wickets for Sri Lanka.
And he was bowling at a good pace, 140.
He was bowling at a good pace. He looked sharp. He looked fitter than he has done. So he's obviously worked very hard. There's something still burning in him to compete. In between one thought. In fact, in the IPL, he was, part of the coaching staff.
Yeah.
So for him to come back and play competitive cricket is in itself, very laudable. I think also the other factor then which emerges from this kind of a performance by Malinga is that the pitches there may not necessarily be only of help for the spinners.
Yeah.
There's some help, even obviously you have to be as skillful as Lasith Malinga, because he does a lot more in the air.
Yeah.
But obviously it means that the bowlers, the fast bowlers have a say in this tournament. It's not that because it's a UAE kind of pitch and spinners will hold sway, may not be that at all. But Sri Lanka obviously out of their depth completely in the batting. That's really hurt them hard.
Very little to talk about Group B's first fixture, but we got a glimpse of what Pakistan's batters can do. We saw Fakhar Zaman, Imam-ul Haq and Babar Azam scoring runs, in previous matches also for Pakistan. And right now Imam scored a 50 in his first game of Asia Cup. So it's a good to see Pakistan batsmen coming out and proving themselves. Bowling has always been their asset.
Just to add to it, what impressed everyone was the intensity with which Pakistan played against Hong Kong. They didn't, they weren't complacent at all, and when they had, had the upper hand, they made sure that they consolidated.
I think the difference in class was just too much.
Yeah.
I mean, you might call it intensity, but it was just a difference in class. They had no answer to any of their bowlers, neither to the fast bowlers nor the spinners. Their own bowlers really could make no impact. In fact, I would say that Pakistan cannot rest content on this easy win.
Yes.
Because if they take this result too seriously, there might be a price to pay. Which means they have, yes, it's a good thing to start with a win and then take the momentum from there. But you can't get taken in by such a one-sided match. Now, you talked about the top order. I think, from the Champions Trophy last year, even there the batsmen did well. If you remember in the final against India. In Fakhar Zaman, Imam-ul Haq and Babar Azam has been one of the fantastic players in limited overs cricket over the past maybe 4-5 years. Fakhar Zaman has emerged as a very major force. The challenge for all this, and remember they're playing in UAE where they play a lot more than most other teams. Their challenge will come against teams like, certainly against India and against Bangladesh, and also to an extent if they play somewhere Sri Lanka, because these are the most seasoned teams, so to speak. Sri Lanka have had a hammering in their first match, but they're still, by reputation at least, a far better team than Hong Kong or Afghanistan. But you're right about one thing. I think, everybody talks of India's batting strength, but Pakistan's batting strength is no less, though they might not have such big stars. I mean, they are big stars, but we may not be seeing them like that because we've been following Indian cricket more aggressively.
Yes.
But Fakhar Zama, Imamul Haq, Babar Azam, Shoaib Malik, experience.
Yeah.
Sarfaraz experience and very inventive. He can improvise.
Good hand in Shadab Khan.
Shadab Khan, and then somebody like Mohammad Amir can bat.
Yeah.
Fahim Ashraf can bat. He's an all-rounder. So
if they want to have an explosive all-rounder or a batsman in Asif Ali.
Asif Ali. So they have a lot of wonderful strikers of the ball right down the order. So it's going to be a challenge for any team playing them.
Everyone is looking forward to the India-Pakistan game because of the rivalry. That is one reason. And the second is it could be a very evenly matched contest because one, Virat Kohli is absent and India themselves are looking for a middle order, to solve the middle order conundrum. And in Virat Kohli's absence, there are 5 names which are in contention. Ambati Rayudu, KL Rahul, Dinesh Karthik, Manish Pandey,
5 names for 4 places.
3 places. So, where will you bat Ambati Rayudu and all of them, and who would be the three players that would get?
It's not easy for Rohit Sharma. There is Rohit and Dhawan. There's KL Rahul. There's Ambati Rayudu. And then between Dinesh Karthik, Kedar Jadhav and Manish Pandey. I think because Dhoni is there and Dinesh Karthik didn't have a great test series. Kedar Jadhav just come. I think it narrows down to Manish Pandey.
Do you think it is because of the bowling that Kedar Jadhav offers?
He could. It could be that. It could be that because remember Ashwin is not there.
Yeah.
And Jadeja is not there. So they need somebody who will fill in with 2, 3, 4 overs if necessary.
Because Hardik Pandya is your 5th bowler. Right?
Yeah, Hardik Pandya is your 5th bowler. So, but it would be very unfair to Manish Pandey if he is ignored here. So I think that for me it's a toss-up between Manish Pandey and Kedar Jadhav. And then of course there's Dhoni and the rest of the gang. So there's Shikhar and Rohit. Rohit is captain, Shikhar Dhawan, the right-left combination, and Shikhar may have had a very poor season in England, a poor test series, but he did reasonably well in the ODIs.
Yeah.
In the, it's a different ball game. You're playing in the UAE. So I think that combo will remain. Rahul, who looked in extremely good touch in the T20s in England and finished ODIs and then finished on a very strong note in the tests, you would want to play him. They might just rest him for the first game because he's had a long tour and bring him back for the all-important match against Pakistan. Or they say no, but he needs to get acclimatized to the conditions here. So let him have a game also against Hong Kong and then take it from there. So I see actually in the big matches Rahul definitely playing. Virat is not there.
Yeah.
Just a word of caution. Yes, Virat is not there. It's he's the finest batsman. Yeah. Terrific record in ODIs. Yeah. But also remember, Pakistan beat India when Virat was there in the Champions Trophy. That was because those conditions were different. The Pakistan bowling attack looked far more formidable there. So, but now there is an issue. Ambati Rayudu has come back after passing his yo-yo test. He's seen now as a strong contender for even being part of the World Cup team. So I think one is that you have to win the Asia Cup or try and win it. The other is that you are also sussing out players who may be there of value for the World Cup. So because now the countdown has begun.
Barely 8 months left.
Barely 8 months left. Yeah. So you have to now try out also all your players in different conditions, but in highly competitive tournaments like the Asia Cup. The pressure of a high tournament or a high pressure tournament is there. So I think the Indians will over this period, this week or 8-9 days that they are there, will try out different players. Against the weaker teams, obviously more scope for experimentation. But I don't think they should, I don't think they will experiment for the sake of it and say, it doesn't matter if we lose.
Yeah.
You still want to win every match and you still want to win the tournament.
How do you see Dhoni's, he's coming back into the frame for, one-day fixtures. He's not there for 5-6 weeks where we were playing test cricket. Naturally, he's got rest. And again, he needs to maintain his place in the side. He's been not the beast which we used to know.
Yeah.
But
then nobody is, apart from Kohli.
Yes.
Nobody has been the beast across formats.
Correct.
Apart from Kohli.
Yeah.
Test somebody struggled in T20, somebody struggled in ODIs. You're right, I get what you're saying.
Yeah.
Dhoni, he's used to these breaks in fixtures because he's not playing one format.
Correct.
He's not playing the test format, which actually takes the most time. So you don't see him for long periods of time. If he was playing the test series, you would have been there in your face every day.
Yeah.
Now what has happened in the period since, somebody like Dinesh Karthik, who looked like possible substitute for Dhoni. If he's suddenly just kind of taken a back seat. I think it's a different format, red ball and white ball cricket. But the Dinesh Karthik's stock has come down after the England tour. I'm a little surprised that somebody like Rishabh Pant hasn't been chosen. You know, I would have put him in the side even as a late addition. In fact, as a backup to as a second wicket keeper, but even otherwise as a batsman. You know, how do you keep him out with this man in red hot form? Be that as it may. I think Dhoni needs to find, you know, runs, match-winning runs. It's not important to me that he makes 85 and we don't win the match. It's important to me that he makes a very strong 38 and India win the match. That's the kind of performance you want from Dhoni, and then you want it consistently. So if he has consistency, he will also make an 80, he may make a 30, but a decisive 30, which we know him. If you're batting first, if some wickets fall early, then he comes and plays long enough to give you a total which helps your bowlers to defend. That is the Dhoni which everybody is waiting for. I think he himself would know it, because for him, he's targeting the World Cup. He doesn't have 10 years of cricket left in him. You're probably talking about 10 months.
That is final frontier in a
for him.
Per
By next year, he'll be 38. So it's a lot of, you know, time is running out for him. He has to build on all these opportunities to hit the kind of rhythm and form which he himself knows best in time for England.
We talked about the Champions Trophy final, and be it may the Asia Cup 2016 or the Australia series, this Indian team, you know, have a tendency to struggle against left-arm quicks. And to address that problem, Indian team management have hired a throwdown specialist, a Sri Lankan throwdown specialist. So
we struggled a bit even against Sam Curran in the Test series.
Sam Curran as well. So, you know, in Pakistan have a lot of left-arm seamers in Mohammad Amir, then Usman Khan.
See, left-arm fast bowlers trouble everybody, not just Indian batsmen. You know, so you will struggle against a good fast bowler. Somebody who can swing the ball in the air is somebody. All batsmen will struggle against that. You have to play those kind of bowlers with a little more care and with a little more expertise, technical finesse, better, you know, batting mind, etc., etc. So to believe that one bowler, one left-arm bowler or two left-arm bowlers trouble the Indian batsmen, therefore 4 will do it twice as much, is not necessarily true. The bowlers also have to bowl well. And if you have so many fast bowlers who are left-arm, the batsmen also get used to them. The line, the swing, the movement, you know. So, by itself, left-arm fast bowling is not a virtue. Good bowling is the virtue. We've got young Khalil Ahmed.
Yeah, we have got young Khalil Ahmed.
Young Khalil Ahmed. From Rajasthan? From Rajasthan?
He's quick.
He's quick. And it's an interesting selection. Because I think what the Indian bowling contingent lacks, we got fantastic fast bowlers now. We saw in the Test series. We don't have a left-arm fast bowler, just for the variety, which has become, as you mentioned, Pakistan has got a plethora of them. Everybody seems to be a left-arm fast bowler. You know, the influence of Wasim Akram, I believe, a Junaid Khan, a Mohammad Amir. These are fine bowlers. So you can't be complacent against them. So that's the challenge. You know, I mean, if I'm Rohit Sharma, captain of the Indian team, or Shikhar Dhawan, it's obvious that I'm thinking about these things, as any player would, or a KL Rahul, that my big match is against Pakistan, these are the bowlers they want. You don't start preparing when you're walking out to bat. No sport is played like that at the elite level. Schools level, even at schools level, we start thinking of the opponent. So these guys are obviously thinking about it.
What are the main 3 things, you know, which are going to stand out for this Asia Cup and seeing the World Cup ahead?
So I think, you know, obviously India-Pakistan match.
We could have 3 of them.
But very important is who wins the first one. You know, because that keeps you in contention to reach the final 4.
Also the mental edge.
The mental edge. That's more crucial. You know, I think the first mover advantage, so to speak. First winner advantage. So obviously India versus Pakistan is the highlight. By common consensus of this tournament. If it happens 3 times, fantastic. I think the broadcasters and everybody else and the fans and everybody else will be overjoyed. But I think for me, it's not just the India-Pakistan contest. This is also revenge for Champions Trophy. It's also how, from an Indian perspective, how the players start coping under pressure. How do you perform in that high pressure? If somebody like Virat Kohli will be sitting at home and watching the game while he's resting, will want to watch the body language and the performance, the skills exhibited by his players in these high pressure matches. I would like to see how the Indian fast bowlers perform on these pitches.
Hot conditions.
Hot conditions, फिर भी ठीक है. But you know, usually they say absolute flat wickets, but Pakistan have a very good record there.
Yeah.
So can we match up? Even in limited overs cricket, different formats, it's no longer enough to be controlling runs. It's important to take wickets. So the Indian fast bowlers, and some of them are, you know, now big stars, world class. Let's see how they perform here. And I think thirdly, from an Indian point of view, also the return of somebody like Ambati Rayudu, purely from an Indian perspective.
Yeah.
He's come back. He has a very impressive one-day record.
Yeah. 50 average.
Yeah, he's got a very impressive one-day record. And remember, when you play in England next year, apart from your young group of talented players, you also need some depth of experience. This guy has been around since the time he was 17.
Yeah.
He's 32 now, or 33.
Yeah.
So he's got 16 years of experience, you know. And that's something that even a Kohli or a Shastri would want. He's a good fielder. Somebody who can swing a game around.
And can keep as well if
Can
required.
keep in well. In England, it becomes difficult when the ball does too much. You need a specialist wicket keeper. We saw Rishabh Pant struggling in the test matches. So, I mean, these are the things that I would look forward to. And certainly, I want to see if there's any progress made by Afghanistan. Or how much progress has been made.
So that's all we have for you for this special edition of First Post Game Plan. Thank you Ayaz Memon for joining us. Devdutt was here and I am Vaibhav Shah signing off.
Thank you.